Welcome to the NerdNest podcast. I'm Sarah Montgomery, NerdNest social media manager. You can find the links to our social media, our blog, and our actual website down in the description below. Today, my guests on the podcast are...
I'm Ben.
I'm Josh.
Who you've met before, and last time we argued about video games, mispronounced Ryu, and did not give a lot of numbers wrong. But what else are you to expect from a discussion about video games? So, in that theme, because the last time we ended with what your first console was, I thought we could go off that same vein and kind of talk about retro video games, and since Josh is wearing his Legend of Zelda t-shirt.
Absolutely.
That would be a fun discussion. So, we said that you played Pokemon on the Game Boy first.
Yes.
I had the Nintendo 64, Donkey Kong, Hydro Thunder, or James Bond GoldenEye, and yours was...
GameCube.
What game?
What game?
Sonic Adventure 2.
That's right.
Oh, right. Okay. So, of your childhood games, what would you say is your favorite? Because I'm thinking...
My gosh.
Right, because I'm thinking, as far as just something to do and play, I would say, like, Mario Bros. Is probably just a very consistent, easy one to say.
I have to say, by Mario Bros., what game are you talking about? There are so many.
Super Mario Bros.
Like the original?
Yes,
Okay.
the Game Boy. That's the one I always played. But I would say...
No, I know what you're talking about. It's the deluxe one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know what you're
And
talking
then I
about.
would say for actively playing a game, probably Donkey Kong, because that did have puzzle-solving aspects.
Yeah.
And the character changing with all the different abilities of everyone.
Oh, so like 64?
Yeah, that's the only one I've ever played.
Yeah.
Are you gonna say
The-
Pokemon?
Pokemon. What about it?
Is that would you say that is your favorite childhood game?
Definitely not my favorite, because my favorite kind of game, Pokemon's that kind of like turn-based game, and you like take your turns and you level your statistics up, all that sort of stuff.
You didn't know
Obviously.
what Pokemon is.
Well, no, I'm just distinguishing it from the kind of game that I like, which is pretty much a style of game that you can speed run. So I would say Super Mario Bros. Is another great one. I've gotten my time on Super Mario Bros. Like super low, and I feel good about that. But Donkey Kong Country is one of my top games, because I can just take that game for a 2-hour adventure and just love every second of it. Every time I run through it.
Mm-hmm. And Ben?
We're gonna have to go ahead and say Pokemon. Pokemon is, like, when you first start out, it's really easy, it's really basic, simple. Water's good against fire. It's really easy to understand. And then you grow into, like, the meta game, and the Jolteon has 100 and whatever speed, and like, all the crazy, like, numbers and whatnot.
Where you become the Pokédex. That's what you're doing.
That is the ultimate goal.
Alright.
Absolutely, as a kid, just thinking about Pokemon, it was like, as a kid, it was absolutely as simple as, oh, water beats out fire, of course.
Even like red beats green, honestly.
This color associations at this point.
Right.
But it I didn't really follow with it, because again, it's not my style of playing, but when I learned about how much statistics is involved in Pokemon, I was like, this is half math, half video game.
I'm going to voice my opinion, which is generally not very popular in this topic, and that's that I don't like Pokemon.
Why? What's wrong with you?
Look, it's that the game type is too simple, and it's basically impossible to lose. Because, for example, what's the name there's like that tower that you have to go up, and you like go up through all the levels, and you have to fight the spirits and the wild Pokemon and the
Lavender
trainers.
Town?
Sure.
Yeah.
Depends which.
In Lavender Town?
Depends which game, but yeah.
I've only played Pokemon Leaf Green, is the one I've played.
Okay, then yeah, Lavender
So
Town.
Lavender Town. Right outside that tower, you've got your Pokemon Healing Center, right? So I take my 6 Pokemon, and I go into the tower. I get killed by the first person. But I gain XP. I just go, pop back up, I magically appear inside a Pokemon Healing Center. I heal my 6 Pokemon, I go in again.
It's not even a
This
choice.
time with my increased XP, and I beat this person. And then I can do that all the way through. It doesn't matter if I die at each battle.
I think that's why people came up with those like alternative ways of playing Pokemon, where it's like if a Pokemon faints, that guy's dead.
Right.
He's gone. And like you have to delete
But
him.
that's not the game. That's you
Okay,
making the game
yeah.
more difficult. And I think that makes sense as you grow older. It makes sense to do that. For kids, I think Pokemon is like, it makes sense. There's not really any losing, but you still have to understand how to ration your items and money. And
Well, what do you mean there's no losing? I don't know about you, but the first time Gary O completely destroyed me, I was upset.
I felt like
level 5 Squirtle was OP. We all know.
I felt so defeated because of Gary O.
It was such trash because it's like, all my Charmander has a scratch and like growl.
Growl.
I can't even do anything. Type matchups don't matter.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
you understand my point though, right?
Yeah.
Is that Pokemon is not a game based on, like, most games nowadays, especially like first-person shooters. If I am playing through a level, and I keep dying, I'm not going to get through the level. I'm going to keep dying, and I'll reappear at whatever checkpoint I get to. And if I never get to a checkpoint because the first person kills me,
But
I just keep dying.
Pokemon's designed for you to win because each time you die, you still get stronger.
Right. So in my opinion, Pokemon would make more sense if you fought someone and you lost. You either didn't gain XP or you lost XP.
Well, you lose money, but honestly, money, it's not a really good trade-off, at least
But if
I don't
you
think,
got
because...
the Game Shark, does it matter?
Okay, well,
Okay, but that's like-
cheating in
Have you
video
seen
games is a
every
different
game?
discussion. I used my Game Shark action replay thing for like years because I was terrible at video games, and I just eventually it was like a drug. I was like, I gotta stop. I cut myself off.
I never used the Game Shark for that. I only use it for like getting new items or getting more money. That was basically it. But I didn't have to like go back and fix my mistakes. That's what the action replay is, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. You just type in cheat codes and stuff. There were absolutely some games with the action replay that I was just like, all right, invincibility, as strong as you can possibly be right at the beginning of the game. Yeah, I'm so good at this game.
There's the one in Pokemon where it's like the wild Pokemon you run into, there's a higher chance of them being rare. So you'd like go through the grass and it's like, oh, here's a Mewtwo and it's already basically
Yeah,
dead.
Mewtwo, level 2,
You've
with
gotta-
2 health left,
you've got it.
frozen.
That's the only.
Enter the battle like that.
Where did you come from?
Oh, look at this, I just stumbled upon it. Lucky me! But that's generally my opinion on Pokemon. Now, Pokemon is a very interesting game, I think, because they're one of the few, I don't know what to call it, things that have literally crossed into every single genre of anything. Like, they have their own movies and TV shows, games, card games,
Pinball.
probably board game. Is pinball a
There's-
genre?
okay,
No,
they
it's
do
a
that.
pinball game. Like,
They do
there's
that.
a game.
Nintendo has a tendency of doing that. They take their series and they'll just make a pinball version of it for absolutely no reason.
And it's the same game.
And it's such garbage.
Sorry if you like
Some
Pokemon.
people like the pinball aesthetic better than the
Running up and down Lavender Town.
that one. Yeah, that's I mean, let people be what they want.
It's the true message.
Are you being personally injured because someone wants to play a pinball version of Pokemon?
Choose not to speak out on that.
Let each person live their own life.
Okay, fair enough. Alright, but the last retro game that I played was at your house with your roommate, Josh.
Right.
And we played Jeopardy. And that game is a disaster. Absolutely, because what console is that again?
Nintendo, just a Nintendo Entertainment
So
System,
it's
the original.
a Nintendo gaming system. He has 2 controllers. There's 3 players on Jeopardy. He and Josh have to share a controller. Now in a game when you buzz in, you can understand why that's kind of confusing.
3 people controlling 2 controllers for Jeopardy
Yeah.
made absolutely no sense. It doesn't help that I don't know why, honestly, they made that game. Because they had to have known. Maybe it was just so early in gaming that they had no idea where it would have gone. But you look, like we played it, you look at like the longevity of that game, and it's like one of the categories is actors, and it's like, okay, actors from the year 1980. Here we go, and it's just completely undoable. And I think there's a lot of games sort of like that are just like, you know this title, so you'll buy this game. At least in early gaming history.
That being said, I have played the new Jeopardy on the Wii U. It's actually pretty fun. They give
Well, see, it's
and it
because
has levels, so that you can, like, the hard one you have to actually enter your answer, but the easy one is a multiple choice, which makes it a bit easier. I feel like I don't know anything about this category.
Well,
I'm guessing it's this one.
I think like things like Jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
You take the Wii U. That can be updated. You can update the game, and so it can last, like the actual game Jeopardy.
All right.
But like something like way back with Nintendo, obviously having Jeopardy on that back in 70, 80, whatever year that was, it's just not gonna last. And we played the game and it's like, wow, this is the stupidest garbage I've ever played.
I mean, I was like, who's to say it wasn't relevant when it came out?
It probably was, but the point is that it's not anymore. But you look back at a lot of the games that didn't have that nature, like
does it
Mario.
hold up? Right, does it hold up?
And Legend of Zelda, like
Well, I mean, that's because it's
absolutely
trivia
held
based.
up.
And so, like, if you have trivia, of course, trivia like isn't going to be as popular.
Consistent. Trivia is not consistent.
So.
I mean,
It's just a game design.
some of the
thing.
categories
It was
are like animals with the first letter A and the last letter T. It's like, yeah, okay, that's consistent. But when it comes to like pop culture knowledge, it's like you get a little bit more trouble with it than do. So on the topic of Jeopardy or Jeopardy, old Jeopardy and Jeopardy, new Jeopardy on the Wii U. At E3 they announced that they had what was it? Rare came out with this
Rare Replay.
Rare Replay, and so they have all of these old retro games out again. We just had Star Fox is getting a new thing coming out.
Yeah.
We have obviously Mario and Smash Bros. And Mortal Kombat, and all of those games have had many, many, many iterations. So I was wondering what your opinion is on old games getting a revamp or a relaunch or a new chapter, I guess, if you have any.
I have to say this passionately so. So, as I said, Donkey Kong Country was like one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, that game is just. I didn't have the Nintendo Entertainment System at my house when I was growing up. Whenever I would go over to my grandfather's house, he had it. And so I would always. Sorry, not NES, Super Nintendo. But I would play Donkey Kong Country, and I'd play it every single time I went over there. And it was great, and recently I played through Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, but they had the Donkey Kong Country Returns games come out, and they started that out on the Wii, and I was skeptical at first, but the fact that they were able to hang on to Donkey Kong strongly being based around music in that same side-scroller pattern with all these themes that came up in the original Donkey Kong Country, but are just applied on an entirely new console, and there's a bunch of new ideas and stuff being put into it. My mind was absolutely blown. I thought that was a fantastic game, and they're still going with it, with things like Tropical Freeze. I mean, that's just another. They're continuing with the Donkey Kong Country Returns theme, and it's good to know that that sort of style is still wanted. Consumers still want that kind of stuff.
Ben, any games?
I really like revamps because it gives a current generation the opportunity to play games that the previous generation like loved and grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
Only problem is you have those like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which was, I'm not sure if you guys remember, that's like I think 2008 or 2009,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the first Banjo-Tooie/Kazooie game in I think almost a decade, and that one was completely original, which was a great like standalone title. But if you were coming for like the Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie gameplay, it's like going from Donkey Kong 64 to Midnight Club LA with Banjo. And if you were coming and you're like, okay, opening cutscene, you're like, all right, this looks awesome, and then you're like, but there's a car and you have to build it. And you're like, okay, cool. And then the game is completely different.
I watched the trailer. I was like, building vehicles. What is this about?
That being said, it was one of the coolest games I've ever played. Like once I like stopped going for Banjo like Tooie and wanted to like play the game, it was so good. Like gameplay was solid. Like
no, it just wasn't what it originally
was. Right.
was.
Well, that brings up an important point. When games do a revival or next chapter, and this is not even exclusive to games, but like movies, TV shows, anything that's been adapted from something older. Usually, it's books, movies, comics, movies. People always just go, yeah, I liked it a lot. It was great. Gameplay was excellent. The story was great. Graphics were way better than the original. I hated it. Why? Because it wasn't like the original.
It wasn't like, yeah.
Well, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be its own thing. And they're like, nah, but it's not the same game. You didn't want the same game. If it was the same exact game, you would be upset.
True.
Because it would be the same game
Yeah.
with better graphics. Or in Star Fox's case, Nintendo 64 graphics with like a light airbrush over it. It's like, look, we kind of smoothed out all those really jagged points.
Polygons.
But that's just, I think that's a trap that people often fall into when it comes to, and because there's a lot of this, I think another thing that contributes to why we like old games so much is that there's really this nostalgia factor. And this happens with everything. Like, you're seeing it happen with a Jurassic World, the movie that just came out. Everyone would see that. I think it just beat Avengers Age of Ultron for, like, number 4 on the biggest, like, highest grossing movies of all time. And that'll firmly hold that position until Star Wars Episode 7 comes out. Because nostalgia pull is so strong. If they announce a game, like, Star Fox could be horrible. The game they come out with absolutely
Star
horrible.
Fox.
It's going to sell really well.
Did you ever play Star Fox 64?
Yes, I played Star Fox.
Fantastic game.
Absolutely
I love
fantastic.
that
It
game.
was so good.
There's nothing better than J-turns.
Oh my. There's nothing better than barrel roll, dude. Do a barrel roll.
The most iconic line from I would venture to say any video game is Fox and Barrel Roll. I think people reference barrel rolls and they have no
It doesn't
idea.
even know what game you're in. Honestly, in a Warhawk, do a barrel roll. Just go for
But
it.
I remember when I was first playing that because I was quite young when I was playing it on the console. Me and my brothers were all there, and you just had like. This is our first experience with video games because we didn't have any interaction with the world really until we had this Nintendo 64. And so we're sitting down playing Star Fox, and I don't know why for me I was so uncomfortable with the fact that the characters were animals, but I was so confused,
Furries.
and I was thinking like, what happened to all the people? Where did they go? Why is there there's a frog and a bunny talking to each other in space, flying ships, and then I started thinking like, are the ships like people-sized and these animals are people-sized, or are the ships?
Well, the frog was the same size as the fox, though. So that argument doesn't really work.
The question becomes: did the frog grow to the size of the fox? Did they both grow to the size of the person, or did everything get smaller?
I think this is why they make video games.
To raise these important questions.
Raise awareness. It's a huge issue.
Nintendo, if you're out there, if you're listening to this podcast, why are there so many strangely proportioned animals in Star Fox? What does it mean? It's like I want more of the backstory and the canon to go with it. Like,
I'm sure there is backstory. A lot of those older games really had the backstory in the instruction manuals, which reminds me of something so fantastic. I was just reading articles, and as I do, and I found one that explained it was like 10 games that you didn't know had horrible backstories, and so
BuzzFeed.
it was not BuzzFeed. You would not believe what they said about these games. No, but it was, they're talking about the game Donkey Kong, and basically what you think about Donkey Kong is, okay, so there's this giant monkey, his name's Donkey Kong, and he stole this girl named Pauline, and he's running from Mario, basically. You think it's just like a King Kong escapade. What really it is, no, this was in the manual.
That doesn't make it any less scary.
Donkey Kong was Mario's pet, and Donkey Kong was kept in a cage by Mario, and Donkey Kong went through a lot of abuse because just Mario mistreated him, and Donkey Kong managed to escape, and I mean he's just an animal. Like the current personality that Donkey Kong takes on, like I mean he has an actual personality, but the Donkey Kong in those games is supposed to just be an animal, and he's terrified because he's finally escaped from his abusive master, and he's like, I gotta get back somehow. So he steals his girlfriend, and he's just running through all these construction sites and obstacles and all this sort of stuff. And when you think about the backstory to a game about a guy jumping over barrels, it's just absolutely terrifying.
You know what this whole podcast has really given me insight onto is I think Josh has a thing for Donkey Kong.
I'm kind of picking up that vibe too.
I would be lying if I said that I was not attracted to Donkey Kong.
I mean, we'd all be.
So on that note, thanks for watching the NerdNest podcast. I guess I should kind of apologize for that end bit. Next time we won't be talking about Donkey Kong. I bring you guys back.
Leave him in the rearview mirror. For all of our sakes.
He's in the past, Josh. It's over.
It's okay.
I'm not over it.
Clearly. He is, because he had that picture of that lovely lady monkey in his shack. Anyways, that's part of Donkey Kong 64.
Oh, you're right.
I know I'm
You're
right.
right.
I don't know you to tell me that. Anyways, thanks for watching the podcast. We'll be back next week discussing something else with different people as we do. Again, links are in the description. Thanks for watching.
Links.
Thanks for watching. Bye, guys. You didn't wave the camera.